All right, listen, guys. Mackenzie's not here yet. Okay, she hasn't entered the room yet. But listen, no one mention Mackenzie's job. Okay, she just got fired. All right, it was her first time flying. She tried landing the Delta plane, and it didn't go too well. So just no one bring it up. It's a really touchy subject right now. Okay, I think I hear her coming now.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
You ready to do the podcast?
Yeah, I'm ready to land some not land
What?
deliver some jokes.
What
Ready to
the
say some
fuck? That's all the
Alright.
energy I had for the whole episode. Welcome back to Oh
What's
That Reminds
up?
Me. My name is Mackenzie,
My name's John.
and we're
Jonathan.
here to yap to you for the next hour. Now,
True.
you're probably like, Mackenzie, you sound different. You sound.
You sound like you've been in the presence of guns and also tired.
Yeah, no, so let's get a little bit of a recap. First of all, I sleepy. I woke up at 6:30 because okay, so we're filming this on a Tuesday. This is when the
Club
episode's
going
supposed to be live.
podcast going up on a
Because
Tuesday.
yesterday, mid work, I just lost the ability to speak.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
went mute.
we planned a time to record it, and then I'm like playing games and stuff, and then she just messages me, so like possible problem, I can't speak.
Yeah, it hurt. And then I woke up today fine. Love that.
Huge.
But instead, I'm editing this video about to be finished. Literally on the last few sentences. And I started hurting and I fell asleep. I don't know how I fell asleep. I don't know when I fell asleep. I don't know how long I was asleep for. But I fell asleep.
Yeah,
And now
I
we're
feel that.
here.
And now we're here, and we're recording, and you're still asleep. Actually, we haven't recorded. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
That'd be awful. Podcast stream, you hear every single thing you're gonna talk about, and then you wake up and you have to
You have to re-talk about it.
But that's what happened today. But if you guys also missed it, John and I had a very impactful week.
Yes, we did separately.
Yes, I did go to the lands of guns,
Let's
and John
go.
went to a foreign country
Yup.
to meet with. I don't know. I was trying to think of something.
I was gonna say, where's this going?
Went to a foreign country and tried being a turtle.
Yep.
Guys,
what I
just
did.
woke up. This is.
That's what I did. Not your kill. I tried being a turtle. Tell me more. Tell me more about my turtle adventures.
So, you ever just like wake up in the morning and you're like, this life isn't for me. Because that's how most furries feel. But no, for John, it was different. He
See,
didn't feel like he needed fur. He didn't feel it wanting to be run through while running in the wind. But instead, he wanted to feel scaly. He wanted to feel covered up.
this
Like a turtle.
you switch to like advertiser voice, like you're like working for a service. It's like
Do you
Scales R Us or something.
Want to be a turtle too?
Or like Shells R Us.
Well, do I have
Also,
a promo for you?
do you
Bring
remember-
one person and get 2 turtles back.
Do you remember what? They duplicate you? What?
That took you a minute. Do I remember?
Do you remember when you were doing a school TikTok assignment and we were gonna do? You wanted to. You had to find a trend, and we were gonna do Hope Core. And I said, when you're tired, you just yap about nonsense. Just do that. And you said, I can't do it on command. This is what I was talking about. You just start going on random tangents about
I need to
nothing.
post a TikTok actually for that class again.
Well,
but
there we go.
This time, what's it called? I had to do like a creative brief for it, but then the creative brief got canceled of the event that I was going to because of the snow, because we got a lot of snow here. So now I have to make a new one, but I fell asleep.
The snow will come up later. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
But how's your day? Not week. Day.
My day has been pretty good. I just tried Wingstop's new chicken tenders because they have new ones now.
Wingstop was a thing.
Yeah, Wingstop exists, and I don't know if they're doing it in Canada, but they randomly started advertising their chicken tenders a lot, and I usually get the Wingstop chicken tenders. So, by the way, fun fact, if you just Google the word chicken tenders, you don't get Wingstop chicken tenders. You just
That's
get chicken tenders.
crazy. Order
Um,
7.
but
That's
they
America.
started like pushing their chicken tenders a lot, and then I looked at it, and they have a new chicken tender recipe that's supposed to make them crispier, which I never had a problem with their tenders, but Natalie, namely, she got their tenders one time, and she was talking about how like because of the sauce, they were kind of soggy. So they listened, they tapped in, and they have a new recipe for their tenders to be crispier. This sounds like an ad. It's not. They were
Unless they want to sponsor us,
unless they want
please
it,
sponsor us.
please.
We love
Um,
Wingstop chicken
they
tenders. Not the wings, though. We don't fuck with the wings. I know it's called Wingstop, but
Yeah,
we're
not bone
picky.
in. Oh, speaking about that, so I know you're not like a huge bone in person, but do you eat bone in wings like if they're there?
I occasionally get a boner, but I
What?
feel like
What?
um
Okay, feel like you should explore that with your doctor maybe because I don't know if you're supposed to be getting those.
so you said bone in for wing what?
Yeah, like boned wing. You know what I mean? Like there's boneless wings, which are basically like chicken tenders or like chicken nuggets, and then there's just like the actual like wings. Do you ever get like wings with the bones or no?
I got wings once with Nick and Natalie. Oh, I hit my mic. That's my
Mhm.
fault. And I got disgusted at it because like while eating it, you saw like the red like shit was like
Yeah.
alive.
So what I was
You
gonna
know?
ask is because I got wings while on my journeys at a restaurant, and I was with Natalie and our friend Karina,
Oh, Natalie
and
loves the like
I I
core.
yeah I like ate my wings, and I was like yeah, and then
And then
Natalie
Natalie asked to suck on
as
them.
I'm eating like my third wing, she was like, "Are you done with those?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. I don't eat like the bone cartilage and stuff." And she said that was her favorite part, so she took the scraps of mine like a dog, and just like
Yeah.
gnawed on the bone and stuff.
I feel
And
like how we should
Karina did the same
really
thing. And then also we got a turkey leg the last day. And the same thing. We like shared the turkey leg, ate the turkey leg, and then it was like a treat. Karina was like, "You can have the bone," and I was like, Are they just dogs? Like, what is happening? Is this normal? Like, why are they like why are they like I'm gonna gift you the bone to
so
chew
you
on?
did go and be a furry, not a turtle. That's my bad. I'm so
I
sorry.
I wasn't the furry. I was like a normal person. But yeah.
Uh-huh. I think that's disgusting,
Yeah,
personally. But
I agree.
no, Natalie does do that. Which like honestly sounds good. Take all the food there is,
I mean,
get your
like
money's worth.
doesn't go to waste, but
But
I could never.
I got disgusted. Yeah, no.
Anyways, yeah, new tender recipe, very good. They're slightly
It
smaller
doesn't
than the old
seem like it's
tenders.
in Canada. Wait, so is all the tenders different? Like,
Yeah,
you're
they just like they just completely changed their tenders specifically. Like the wings and the boneless wings are like the same, but the chicken tenders, they like completely changed them to like a different chicken tender. And now it's like they're slightly smaller than they used to be, but they're definitely way crispier. I feel like I got more flavor on them. Um Also, I don't know if this is like a permanent change or if I just like hit a random time, but the fries were switched to be like way thicker and bigger. The fries I
I
got
don't.
were like
I
almost
like
like
their
steak fries. Yeah, I
fries.
like the fries too,
Ew.
so I was like kind of confused. But yeah, the tenders would recommend, and I got two for free because they're giving away 1 million chicken tenders, and so
Now,
you sign up and they just give you a code and you get two free tenders.
now we're gonna get into a controversial topic here.
Okay,
As we mentioned, I went to America. The
true.
last time I went to America, we're just gonna dip our toes in it. We're not gonna get really into it, but
Drop the bass.
America Hawk Sound.
Oh no, I was talking about because I think I know what you're
Guns.
gonna get into. I was being a DJ.
I think Wingstop
Oh,
is 10 billion times better than Raising Cane's. Now, I've been to Raising Cane's now twice. One in New York, one in Boston.
yeah, the New York one. That's why I was doing DJ stuff.
Yes, I
There's
realized that.
DJ.
When I went to the New York one, it was with John,
Uh-huh.
my sister, Umer, her boyfriend,
You know what's
Noah Meerkat, Angel Idars, Max Miggy,
and
It's
my
really
parents.
awkward if I'm missing someone. Okay,
No, you're
good.
good.
I was like, I
Um,
gotta be Buddy, I swear.
in in a beautiful roundabout way, my first Canes that I ever had was in Boston, and then the second time I had Canes was in New York with you. And the
So we
first time
had.
you had Canes was in New York, and the second time was in Boston.
Did we go to the same one in Boston? Did we ever figure that out?
I don't know. You did. I didn't get replied to.
Well, you just sent me this photo of the. I was like, is
Oh
this
no,
an
that
every
was
single.
that was me at Canes. I went to Canes the same night.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Crazy coincidence, yeah.
Okay. So, a little context. I posted a photo and I was like, "Thank God there's no DJ." And then John sent the exact same photo and was like, "Where you at?"
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like,
I don't know if this
"Huh?"
turns out they all have the same brick wall with paint. That was crazy when I walked into the Canes. I don't know if this is like doxing and you can't answer, but was the Canes you went to like right
I
across the
have
street
no
from a
clue.
college?
No, it was in front of a.
Because the Canes that I went to was like right across the street from like a university, so there was like a line out the window from like college kids. Line out the window, line
Um,
out the door. People don't line up out windows.
but
Also, the bathroom was downstairs. I don't know if that helps
oh
you.
no,
It was
bathroom
downstairs
was
and you needed
two
a code.
doors, and you needed a code, but it was not downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Different cane.
Different Canes.
Anywho, first time New York was
Yep.
us Times Square. So
Mhm.
first of all, that means it is packed to the brim.
Extremely packed. Very hard to find somewhere to sit.
Second of all, there's a loud ass fucking DJ.
Made no
Now-
sense. No clue why they had one, but yeah.
I think if you go back in our episodes, we might have talked about our Canes experience.
We probably did.
We kind of overshare on the internet. It's a kind of like a quirk we have. Like it's so who would have thought?
Also, because you're in Times Square, you're kind of paying like Times Square tax.
Yeah.
It's like slightly more expensive.
I don't know how much anything was because
Mhm.
Umer just bought everything and then I paid him back after.
Thank you, Umer, for the movie tickets and the Canes and
yes,
the
true.
and the this and the.
June 11th and June 19th.
It wouldn't be June. It would have been June.
No, it would been when you came back because yeah, this is the 3 that I did.
Oh, got you.
Lizzie enjoyed her, but Jones. Anyways, who cares? Kane's DJ really loud. Today
Yeah.
I was talking with Jade, and she said that she would enjoy Kane so much more if there was no DJ.
I feel so bad because I didn't know the Canes had a DJ, bro. All I've seen of that Canes was it's their like big flagship store and they like open it and it's like big Canes and they have like the Caniac going and I was like, oh, that's fun. And we went in and it was really packed and really loud and I felt really bad. I feel like I ruined the vibes.
Not, I mean, you wouldn't have control of the situation. I'm just happy I got a seat because we didn't like. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us.
Yeah,
6
there
of
was a
us?
lot of us. We
There
split
was a
up.
lot of us. We split up, but I'm just happy I got a seat. And I had it. I can look up my review actually. Didn't get any food reviews this trip. Very disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't put any food reviews in. I like forgot that food reviews existed. I have photos of my food,
So
though.
I wrote Times Square Canes. It's aight. 6 out of 10. I think the environment, which has given me a headache, affected the taste. The bread tasted like pretzels. Sauce is aight. Chicken's pretty good. Don't like coleslaw. Fries average. Because John didn't tell me the hack that you can ask
Well,
for.
like Streets should have just known that you say
I
no
didn't
slaw
know
double
what
fries
Cane's
or no slaw
was.
double toast. That's just
I
like
don't know what Canes was before. You could do double toast?
that's just like it depends. It depends on how you're feeling.
And another thing that pissed me off is I got lemonade, which made my whole thing more expensive when my sister and her boyfriend upsized their drinks.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyways, so I gave it a 6 out of 10. Right? And I was like, it's aight. But I was like thinking about it when I was, because we were like trying to plan our days, and I was like, oh my god, wait, maybe you have a Cane's. And then I was like, I kind of want to try it again. Like it was like, yes, I gave it a 6 out of 10, but like, it was like pretty good. But like, I wouldn't have it every day. And let me tell you, that statement still stands because I went there. You know, we got the box combo. Nick's first time.
What's the box combo?
That's when you get the 4 chicken tenders, the fries, the toast, and the sauce and the coleslaw.
Damn.
What?
No, I was gonna say I'm fat, bro.
Why?
the last time I went, you guys like shared a box combo.
No, we got two.
Oh, okay. I think I shared a box combo. I was like, bro, last time I went to Canes was or no, not last time because now I've been, but like the time before that, I was in New York and I was like, fuck it, I don't know when I'm gonna get to have Canes next, and I was really hungry that day, so I soloed a Caniac combo, which is
Well,
the bigger than the box combo.
yeah. So, if you guys don't know, my amazing boyfriend has a boyfriend. His name is Sam Selleck. And the only
Okay.
thing that Nick knew about Canes was the Caniac combo.
Streets
Because
love
Sam
the Caniac
Selleck
combo.
has two Caniac combos and makes a
Damn!
sandwich with it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and-
When I had my Caniac combo afterwards, I almost went into a food coma in my hotel
And for
room, and I was
context,
like,
that's
damn, that was a lot of food.
one is 6 chicken tenders.
6 chicken tenders, fries, slaw, and toast, and a large drink. And then you can sub the slaw for either double fries, which is when I got it, I got double fries, too many fries. Let me tell you, you don't need the double fries, or you can do double toast.
See, I don't like coleslaw, but Nick loves coleslaw. So I was like,
Okay.
I'm going to give him my coleslaw, right?
Okay.
But we get in there, it's packed as fuck. I'm like, I gotta get a table. We end up getting a table. I order it. We sit down. Now this is gonna be crazy, guys, but I had sweet tea with my food.
And did you
I
like
love-
it?
I had sweet tea twice this trip. One
Okay.
from McDonald's, one from Cane's. And oh my god, Cane's was so much better than McDonald's. It was really
yeah,
good.
bro. McDonald's is horrible.
McDonald's, I don't think it was sweet at all. I think I got unsweetened by accident, but it
You
was
like-
really good.
You like sweet tea?
I like Raising Cane's sweet tea.
Maybe I'll have to try that one.
But yours was you went.
I was gonna say like the sweet teas that I've tried, I haven't liked, but I haven't tried Cane's, so I feel like we're kind of picky with our iced teas the
Yeah.
same way, so maybe I would like it.
But I got the box combo. Nick got a
Okay.
box combo. Eating, snacking. And for some reason, this teenage girl beside us would not stop staring at our food like she's a starving little puppy. And she like kept staring at us. And I was like, what is her deal? Like, let me eat my food.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Cane's is known for the sauce.
Oh yeah,
That's their whole thing.
I even sent you a video last night that was life like advice using Cane's.
Yeah.
Just comparing, like everyone says, because it's like everyone says, Cane's isn't good without the sauce, but they have the sauce. That's the thing.
Do you have the sauce?
Do you have the sauce? Like, what's your sauce?
But I do feel like I got less fries in the one that like the one in Boston.
Uh-huh.
We did do the Sam Selleck trick, which is to make a sandwich. So we ripped the bread in half and then took the chicken and then put the sauce on the chicken and then put the breads and then we snacked on that.
In my opinion, bad ratio.
We only did one chicken and then split that up. Well, I did.
Yeah.
this.
Listen. So the toast there, kind of thick, right?
Mm.
I prefer personally not bread on bottom, chicken in middle, bread on top. I prefer just lay tender on bread and then sort of grab it and dunk it in the sauce on its own. And then you get like 1-to-1 chicken to bread ratio. I think if you sandwich it, it's too much bread, in my opinion, but I can see how people would like it.
Interesting. Maybe I'll try that next time. But I got to like the second tender, finished it, and I was like, this sauce ain't that good. Like, I just kind of got sick of the sauce.
Whoa!
I'm gonna be honest. I was
Whoa.
like,
Chill on that. I have
I was
4.
like, eh.
Walmart has a Cane's sauce like dupe that you can buy. It's their chicken finger sauce. Don't buy that. The chicken sauce, I believe it is, or like the chicken nugget sauce or something, is their Chick-fil-A sauce dupe. The chicken finger sauce is their Cane's sauce dupe. I have 4 bottles of their Cane's sauce dupe.
Well,
right now.
the girl in front of me literally got like a large drink full of Cane's sauce.
Yeah, that's normal. You get the cup of
Yeah.
Cane's sauce. Yeah.
That's
a lot of
But yeah,
people do
no,
that.
I was just kind of sick of it.
I
was
love it.
like, I don't really want it anymore. But, like,
I love
I
that
can
shit.
see me eating Cane's like once in a while. It's not like I would like if you had the option to have Cane's every single day. I don't think I would pick it.
I could. Though
I would rather pick
bringing-
Wingstop.
bringing it back to your original comparison, Wingstop, their tenders get like the tenders get a one up because you know you got all the different flavors, right, with like the sauces
Yeah.
and stuff, and then their fries are definitely better. Canes are just like crinkle cut with some salt, but the sauce and the bread just like makes it, you know. So if I could have Wingstop tenders and fries, but with Cane's Texas toast and sauce, that would be a perfect meal.
I feel like the chicken in Cane's is very airy,
Very-
while Wingstop's very juicy. Like
Wingstops is very juicy.
the chicken in Cane's, like you got like the breading, a little bit of space, then the meat. You know, that's like.
The one that I had a couple of days ago wasn't like that. It was pretty juicy.
But I do like the
Not,
fries.
not my
Fries are
favorite.
good. I love a fry. Fries are my
Um,
favorite.
oh my god, I love fry. I went on a fry adventure, bro.
Are you
Anyways,
gonna elaborate?
I
I
feel,
was,
I don't know. I feel like should we jump around like this or should we go semi chronological on our adventures?
you go first with your chronological order.
What do we think? Okay, so but your trip was first. Let's do. All right, ready. We're gonna do it this way. Okay. Dun dun. Part one. The airport.
So I woke up
Okay.
at my plane left. I don't know. I think
No,
8
just a fire
a.m.
story. So wait. Side note: this has nothing to do with this. That was like earlier at work. I was talking to Jared, who's one of my coworkers. If you don't know, my like coworker friend, and I turned to him. Oh my god. I turned to him and I was like, you know, I had something to say to you, but I forget it. And then he was like, well, let me know if you figure it out. And then he goes, oh, I saw this video the other day and it was really funny, but I can't remember it. And I was like, wow, we're having a really good conversation right now.
So I woke up at 4. Yeah, I woke up at 4,
4
and I
a.m.?
think
Okay,
I
okay.
I think I boarded the plane at like 7. I
Okay.
was got at the airport at like 5. I could probably find the exact times, but anywho, I get there and I go and check my bag. And if you guys have flown recently, you can get your boarding pass on your phone.
Uh,
Could you do that for yours?
I,
Or
would-
is that
I,
just me?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say recently. I've never had a physical boarding pass in my life.
Well, I have taken my boyfriend to the airport a few times. And for
Okay.
context again, this is my first time flying to him and also flying in the most recent. I think I last flew in 2012, 13?
Okay.
I don't really know.
Very young though, and this
Yeah.
is your first time like as an adult in modern life flying.
So I was like, oh, that's weird. I can't get my boarding pass on my phone. So I go and I check my bags and I get my boarding pass physically. And I'm like, I go into line and it is like 10 times more busier than it normally is. And I'm like, why is it so busy? Because normally Nick just walks through. I gotta like wait. But I go and the guy like checks if I have a boarding pass. He looks at it. He circles something and crosses something out. And I was like, okay. He didn't do that for the girl in front of me, and he hasn't done that for anyone else behind me. And I'm waiting in line, and then I say goodbye to my mom because she's like opposite, like I'm going into the thingy, and she's just like it's like a extra room for lineup. And then I say goodbye. She leaves, and I'm alone. So I'm like, let me Google what he circled on my boarding pass, and I Google what SS's.
The way I imagine this going is probably not, but you know when like you I don't know, you're like coughing or something and you Google it and they're like, yeah, you have cancer. I just imagine you Googling like, why did I get circled? Like, why did my pass get circled or something in the airport? And they're like, yeah, the government thinks you have a bomb. You're getting arrested.
Yeah, so
Like, that's just, like, an
SSS
extreme.
on my boarding pass stands for Secondary Security Screening Selection, which is an extra security measure that passengers do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so I'm in line and this guy's like, if you see SSS on your boarding pass, let me know. So I'm like, hello, sir. I have that. And he's like, can I use your boarding pass as an example? So I was like, sure. And then he grabs it. He's like, it will look like this. And he walks down the thing and then walks back. He's like, let me know when you get to the front. I like, again, first time at the airport. And if you don't know, in Canada, at least at my airport, you have to go through American Customs in Canada before you even go to America. So I'm like a little stressed because I'm like, how long is this gonna take? Like I feel like I'm running out of time because everything's so fucking busy today. So I get near the front. I'm not at the front yet, and he's like, "You here, come." And then he opens like the line for me, and I go through, and then he brings me to this other guy, and I cut the line, and I'm like, "My bad." And this guy's like, "Have you flown before? Where are you going?" And then I have to like take everything out of my bag, all of my electronics. And if you guys watched my second recent vlog, I had a little cat hanging on my computer. He took that off, took my camera, took my shoes off. But, like, low-key, bro was very nice about it and was very, like, gave me direct instructions. Because whenever you hear the airport staff, you always hear the bitches, right?
Well, yeah, because usually, like, they deal with a trillion people a day. And so, from my experience, a lot of the times, they just kind of, like, expect you to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, don't really
I didn't. Anyways, I got sent off to a girl who then patted me down. And she was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, 21. And she was like, "Really? You look really young for your age." I was like, "Thank you." But yeah, she patted me down, though. And then she checked if I had bomb residue on my hand or any drugs. Which I did, yeah. And then I had to go and get all my things and put it away, and then I lined up to go through customs. And like honestly, probably was faster than waiting in line because I skipped a bunch of people. But as a first-time person flying, I'm stressed because I'm like, why was I selected? What is happening here? But I go through customs, and this is, again, a really long line, and I get to the front, and I ask the girl, I'm like, "Hey, my thing has SSSS on it. Does that mean anything here?" And she's like, "No," and then, like, side-eyes me, and then stares back, and I was like, okay. Because I was thinking, like, I would have to get, like, extra question. So I'm thinking, like, this is going to take even longer. But that was not the case. Apparently, I just get patted down. And I go through, and the girl's like, "When was the last time you were in America?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have no clue. It's been a while." Completely forgetting I was there last year. I went to see.
Oh.
Yeah. But she was just like, okay, go ahead. So.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Kind of fucked up there. But then I went to my gate, and I sat down and refilled my water bottle. I took a little gravel thingy so I didn't get super sick. And I sat on my plane.
Gravel thingy?
Yeah, no, I keep saying gravel. Even Nick was like, "What the fuck is gravel?" It's
no,
a motion
gravel. Gravel is like the rocks that they put on the
know,
ground.
but it's called gravel. That's the brand.
It's just
that's
the brand.
Instead of
I
think an
O,
A, it's an O.
Gravel.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's used to treat nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. Because last time I flew, I threw up for the whole 4 hours that I flew from Florida to Canada.
It's literally, so in the UK and the US for some reason, it's marketed as Dramamine, which is what I know it as. But in Canada, they changed it to gravel for some reason.
But my mom got me one that is not for nighttime, so I wouldn't fall asleep. But I take that, I'm waiting, I'm listening to music. I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter's new album.
I was going to listen to that and rate it, but I haven't yet.
And then I go and I sit down and I'm like, okay, time to vlog. Because I'm vlogging this whole thing. I'm like, let me get like the plane taking off, me in my seat. And the next thing I know, I hear, "Mackenzie!" And I'm like, what? And a girl from high school was assigned to sit beside me. Now, awkwardly enough, don't tell her, it took me like 20 minutes to figure out what her name was. She's my friend's best friend. Like my close friend that I'm still friends with right now. Best friend. And I like could not. I was like, I think it's her, but I don't know for 100% sure.
By the way,
yes.
Just have to say this reinforces. I feel like sometimes I've said that like sometimes you seem like a Netflix movie character or something. I feel like this reinforces that.
Yeah,
you're like a Netflix main character.
Ever flight alone, I got seated beside someone I know
Yeah,
is kind of crazy.
the odds of that are you should have bought a lottery ticket. The odds of that are insane.
And
The odds of you getting on a plane, like your first flight, someone you know being on the flight going to the same place as you is crazy enough, let alone being sat next to each other.
she was originally not even on that flight. She switched flights.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But we like caught up a little bit. It was like this awkwardness of where like I was like, I don't really know what else to ask you. Like I know where you're going to school and if you're graduating and like I know how you've been. But like I kinda just wanna like listen to music. Like I don't like but like I don't wanna be rude.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the planes would take off, so I'm like starting to record and she's like, oh, what are you recording for? I'm like, school project. And it was about to take off.
Oh, just a school project. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe.
But the thing is, this plane fucking baited me because we'd start to speed up and then we turn and then we'd start to speed up and then we turn because I don't know what it's like for a plane to take off. I don't know what it is.
So every time it sped up, you thought, this is it. We're taking off.
Yeah. It took us 20 minutes to get into the air. They had to spray shit on the wings. They kept turning. So many turns. But I finally got the clip and went off. And I got a window seat. I didn't get a window seat on the way back. I paid for a window seat. Because the way that the airline worked is that you got a free assigned seat. But you were able to switch it. Like wherever other free seats were. So for fun, I was clicking through seats. I was like, oh, like let me click here. And I was like, oh, that's paid. Here, that's paid. Oh, that one's paid. So I was like, oh, let me go back to my original one that was free, and someone fucking stole it. So I had to go click on a new one and pay for that one, which I was like, what the fuck? And then I flew, and it was pretty good. I got a cookie, and I had apple juice on the way there, because I was like, is this free? I'm confused. Because Nick always told me...
treats you well.
Yeah, no, and Nick was like, I was at a coffee and stuff, and I was like, but like, can I get like soda or is that more? Is it just basic stuff?
Bro, Air Canada be tricking you out. And then if you're flying from Montreal, they speak French at you and you wake up and they're handing you pretzels and they're speaking French at you and you're confused where you are and what's happening and then they just give you the pretzels. Not that I would know, but I heard from friends.
I forgot you went to Montreal.
I went to Montreal for like an hour.
And then we are about to land into Boston and holy shit, this was the most ruckety, sketch-ass landing ever, to the point that we got airtime. Like, we were going down, and all the passengers, like, I lifted up from my seat for a second.
Like you're on a roller coaster?
Yeah, and I was like,
crazy.
Low-key, this is good adrenaline. I like this. But...
do you want to be in a plane? See, because if you guys don't know, Mackenzie's a psychopath. And when she goes to amusement parks, roller coasters don't thrill her anymore. So she purposefully makes sure that her like lap bar or whatever her restraints are loosened, so that she goes almost flying out of her seat to feel something. I've
been to this amusement park so many times.
If you went to a new one,
I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Because I don't know what to expect.
Okay, that's fair.
But then I landed. And I said goodbye to my friend, and I went to go find my boyfriend, and that was my airport day. It was also Valentine's Day and our anniversary. I got tulips.
My trip was a happy late anniversary.
Thank you.
My trip was a lot more fun, if you want to call it fun.
Wow.
No, I'm saying my trip to the airport was like hell. Way more fun. So I don't know about you. I didn't sleep the night before I flew. Did you sleep?
I barely slept. I like fell in and out of sleep and then would sleep and then wake up and be like, what time is it? And then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm good. And then I would fall back asleep. And then be like, what time is it? And then I'd fall back asleep. And I'd be like, what time is it? And then I fell back asleep. And then I'd be like, what time is it? And then I fell back asleep. And then I'd be what time is it? And then I fell back asleep.
I was like too excited and nervous, and my parents kept moving the time that we were gonna leave to go to the airport, because originally we were like, all right, we'll leave, because I think my flight was at like 6 in the morning, right? So then we were like, all right, we're gonna leave at like 2 in the morning to get to the airport because it's like really far away. And then they were like, we should leave at 1:30 in the morning. And then they're like, let's just leave at like 12:30 in the morning. So it just kept getting like pushed earlier and earlier, and then it reached a point where I was like, I'm not gonna get any sleep. So didn't sleep at all. Okay. Hop into Schwip. We ride to the airport. Smooth ride. Went fine. Couldn't sleep in the car. Again, too excited to blah blah blah. Get to the airport. Get out. Get my bags, and then I'm walking to where like security is, right? And I don't know about you. I don't know if this is every airport. I still haven't looked this up and researched. I thought airports were just like a 24/7 thing, right?
Oh, yeah, on the way back, because my flight was at 6 a.m., and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, because I was so nervous and I didn't eat anything beforehand. And I was like, okay, I should probably eat something. And I like started looking, and I'm like, this will open 60 minutes before the first departure, and this is closed until 5 a.m. This is closed until 6 a.m. And I was like,
But you like got through security and stuff?
yeah.
My airport security wasn't open until 3:30 in the morning. You couldn't
Oh,
go through security and like get to the gates, which I was like didn't know that was a thing. So I go. Also, um, I think people forgot that they just like have free will or something. So in school when like someone would wait outside the classroom, and so then everyone would wait outside the classroom, and then the one person walks up and
yeah.
like tries the door, and it was unlocked the whole time.
That happens
So
in
I
university still.
so I walk over and there's one person in this line for like to get to security, right? And no one else is
Mm.
in line. Everyone else is like sat by these windows. So then I'm like, am I supposed to be sat there or like what? And I'm like, I'm just gonna get in line. So then I start walking through the line, and as I'm going through the line, people from the windows look up and they're just kind of like, wait, like you could do that? And then everyone gets up from the windows and starts lining up.
Oh,
So I got
wait.
to
Hold.
yeah.
Hold. I don't know what you're saying. My headphones died.
Oh,
So,
yo, what's up,
yo, what's
guys?
good, guys? Just so you guys know, my YouTube might have a vlog in a little bit, and
She's lying about
also
the
check out my
headphones just to
TikTok.
freaking plug her
And
socials,
John
bro.
smells really bad
Just to
and
freaking plug her
yells at me
socials. Actually, I
constantly
get
and
compliments on how
hates
I
me.
smell good.
And we're only
I do
talking
hate
because
her.
we have a podcast, and this is all a
True.
publicity stunt.
Real.
Anyways, I'll go get my charger now. 1 second.
Hey, what's up, guys? Right now, Luka Doncic is playing against the Dallas Mavericks for the first time in his career. It's pretty crazy.
Oh,
Pretty
hey, I'm
crazy
back.
stuff. Hey, what's up?
So yes, you go through the line, and then everyone looked up,
Yeah,
and they were
so
like,
so I like go in the line and then everyone looks up and they're kind of like, wait, like you can just line up. So then everyone gets up from where they're sitting and lines up, which is good that they were already sat down at the windows because I got to basically skip the entire security line, right? And be the second
W.
person. So then I'm waiting. Finally, security ends up opening. The guy who opened it really cringe like a teacher. Um,
Oh.
so we're like sitting there, and then he's like, "Good morning, everyone." And so we look up like he's gonna say something, and then he goes, I said, good morning, everyone. And then people in line go like, good morning. And he goes, that's
Ew.
better. And I was like, what? Why are we doing this? We're adults here. Come on, bro. And he was like, yeah, just make sure. He said, make sure you have your ID and your boarding pass out. So I'm like, okay. Make sure I have my boarding pass on my phone and my ID. Then I end up going up. They don't even need my boarding pass. He's just capping. I just like scan my
See,
ID. They're like, yeah, you're good
you
to go.
you had a teacher. I had the most inspirational woman in the world. It was this woman walking back and forth, and she's like, "Are we having a good time? Because I'm having a good time. It is 5 a.m. and I am
Jesus.
here, and I am happy to be here. Because God
Dru-
gave you this opportunity to be here, and you should be happy as well."
Drug dog next to her is freaking out because she's on coke or something.
No, she was like, I was like, this is nice energy. I approve of the energy.
um. So yeah. So then get through the security line. Then I get to the point where like I have to take off my shoes and like put my bags through the thing or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, really annoyingly. So I'm like doing that. I like take my shoes off. I'm making sure like put my bags up. Blah blah blah. This lady comes through the security line and then like starts putting her bags and stuff like that in front of mine, but she has like a whole family, so they take a really long time. So then I finish with my bags and stuff, and then I go through like the metal detector, and they're like, "Yep, you're good." And then I have to wait for my bags, but now I have to wait for like a family of six's bags to come through, who aren't there for their bags to grab them. Then wait for them to get through the line and like through the metal detection and stuff, then get their bags. Then I could get my stuff. So I just got like held up for no reason. Was really annoying. Get my stuff, go find my gate, sit down. I'm like, sick, pog, awesome. I'm at my gate. I'm also vlogging my trip. You guys won't see it though, because it's just like for friends and family and just like I don't know memories, right? By the way, would recommend. It's like kind of a fun experience. But I've never
As a
really like
person who does it for content, it's very stressful. And I
I
hate no.
well, I've never really like vlogged before, right? So I was like, oh, I should probably
So
vlog. So I sit down and I press record, and then immediately when I press record, I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at the camera or the screen right now. So then I freak out and I stop it and I delete that clip. And then I just take like a 2 second clip because then more people start showing up at the gate, and I like felt awkward doing it because it was my first time. So I literally just like press record and I like looked at the camera and I think maybe flash a peace sign and then I stop it. And it's like a 3 second clip and I say
yeah,
no
so
words.
my issue with vlogging most of the time, and like it gets a lot, like, cause Nick does content, like that's why I can vlog easily around him. But
Hmm.
I feel awkward just pulling out a camera and being like, "Yo, what's up, guys? We're here." And then like I also like feel bad for the people around. Like I feel awkward that someone has to see me do that. I
Uh-huh.
feel bad that like, what if they don't want to be a part of this? So like that was an issue with the vlog, that when Noah and John were in Canada in
The first time.
2021, which was the first
Yeah.
time I've ever tried to vlog. I didn't talk to the camera once, and I
Hmm.
think when I did, I went, "Hi guys, what's up?" And I was just like, ugh, I don't know. It's very, and then
It's
like
something.
people like look at you, and then like it's just like,
Yeah, it's something you like get used to with time.
yeah. But
And just
I
like
was
doing
just
it more.
like,
But yeah,
I don't.
I take like a 2 second clip and then I'm like, all right, that's good enough. So now I'm waiting, and eventually it like comes time to start boarding, right? So the people go over the speaker and they're like, anyone who needs extra time boarding, whether you have like small children, wheelchair, blah blah blah, it's your turn to board. So then they start boarding and then they say zone one, you can board, and I am zone one because um, I,
Damn.
I found out that this airline, because I did like budget airline, right?
Hmm.
And I found out that this airline, you get zone one if you pay for a carry on, because carry on's like not included, right? And so
Uh,
I paid for a carry on. There was like a package where like I got a carry on and could also choose like basic seats. So I got to like pick my seat. Otherwise, it's just RNG. So I picked a window seat because I like a window. I picked the back of the plane because it's statistically the safest. And I had a carry on bag. So I get zone one. So I line up to start going. First of all, wow, people are annoying. I'm like lined up to go, and there's people who are like standing there like they're lined up. And so I'm just standing there, and then they're not moving, so I'm not moving. So I'm just like waiting for them to go. And then it turns out they weren't zone one. They were just kind of like crowding to be the first in like zone four when they go, right? But then because I'm standing there and I'm not moving, there's someone next to me who's not moving. And this lady's like, excuse me, are you zone one? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, why aren't you moving then? And I was like, oh, sorry, I thought like these people were in line. And she goes, yeah, I'm just trying to stay with my family. And I'm like, oh, sorry, are they like right here? And she goes, no, they're all the way up there now.
what?
So I'm thinking to myself, bitch, that is not my problem. How are you so separated from your family that they're like 7 groups of people ahead? How did you this is not a me problem. I did not cause this. So then I'm like moving closer, like getting up there, getting up there. There's like 2 people in front of me, and then like the line just stops and no one's moving. And then the guy who is scanning people's boarding passes and stuff isn't scanning them anymore. And he's on the phone and he has like the like nastiest like what the fuck do you mean face on, and is like completely appalled at whatever he is hearing on the phone and just like just stunned, right? So then the lady who's with him, he like says something to her, bless you. He says something to her and then
I didn't hear the sneeze. Why
she
you look
goes
like a
down
crazy person?
she goes down towards the plane, and then she starts coming back and everyone is coming off the plane, and they're like back up, everyone back up. So I'm like, fuck this, I'm going and I'm sitting back down. So I sit back down, and then I'm waiting there. Everyone's like coming off the plane. This lady ends up walking over next to where I am, and she's got like heavy bags and she's out of breath. And so like the gentleman I stay seated, and the guy across from me offers up his seat.
Ah,
Um,
yes.
and, and so the guy across from me is like, "Do you need to sit down?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." So she sits down, and she is one of the few people who was on the plane, right? So I got the inside scoop here, okay? And she was like, "I don't know what they're talking about. They said apparently there's something wrong with like the seats, but I don't know what they mean because like I was sat down and perfectly fine. Like I don't know what's going on." So then I'm sat there and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and then they go on the speaker, and I hear possibly the scariest thing that I could hear when I'm about to go on a trip and there's reservations in my name that depend on me. And that's so sorry, guys. The plane we are given is smaller than the plane that was booked. So most of you will not make this flight. I'm like, what do you mean?
How do they mess that up?
How do they just give you a smaller plane? How is that?
Yeah.
What? So then they say, if you would like to offer up your seat, we're offering you $1,000 travel
Ooh.
credit.
Oh.
So it's like travel. Yeah, exactly. I was like $1,000 travel credit, so then you can only fly with that airline with that money.
I mean, as someone who's long distance, that's like two trips, so I'll take it.
Well, I was gonna be like, okay, I'll take it, and they go, and we'll get you on the next flight at like 8 p.m.
Oh.
So then I'm like, mind you, this is like 6 a.m. Okay, so I'm like, I need to get to Florida because if I don't, everything's in my name. So there's a chance that Natalie and Karina won't be able to check into the hotel. And I know for a fact that they won't be able to get their like park tickets or anything because it says like you need the main guest that it's booked under there. So I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. So I get up and I go to line up just in case it's like a first come first serve, like rush to the plane. Or if I had to talk to the employees, I started building up a story that I had people who were going to be staying in my house, and
my
I'm the
wife is going to
yeah.
be
I was
in
gonna say like shit like that, or like I was gonna say there's people who are staying in my house and I have the key, and if I don't make it there, then they have nowhere to go and blah blah blah, blah whatever. Then while I'm waiting there, this guy next to me, he's a talker. He's a vocal one. And he's talking about how he apparently had a flight the day before that was supposed to go to Florida, and it got canceled with no explanation. And they offered him a flight. This flight is to Orlando. They offered him a flight to Tampa, which is like a few hours away from Orlando. But he was like, I have no way to get from Tampa to Orlando. Like, I can't take that. So then they put him on this flight. Then the lady next to him said that she was also supposed to be on that flight the day before. But instead of being offered a flight to Tampa, and then she would have to figure out how to get to Orlando, they offered her a flight to Orlando.
Oh.
But it had a layover.
Oh.
Where she would have to fly from where I was in northeastern United States to Puerto Rico.
What?
Spend a few hours in Puerto Rico, and then go to Orlando. And she was like, that is so much more work than I want to do.
See, I don't like layovers because you have to go get your bag, go through security also again.
Well, no, sometimes you don't have to get your bag and they auto load your bag, but then it's scarier because if you miss your flight, then your bag is going and you're not.
Yeah. Anywho, I don't like layovers.
Yeah,
Fuck the layover.
Layovers are not hype. So yeah, they were like, no, they're on this flight. So then I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And I hear the craziest shit over the speaker once they finally talk like 10 minutes later, right? I'm trying to figure out how the fuck they are going to handle this situation, right? And how do you think they would handle
it? I think that they would just throw everyone in the deep end. I'm in the deep end.
What they do is they do a crazy lottery system where they say, everyone open up your like app for the airline and refresh your boarding pass and you'll see your new seat. So I'm like, huh? Like there's not enough seats for everyone. So I open up my app and I refresh and my seat changes to a new seat. So I'm like, oh, cool. All right, this is my seat now, whatever. So then I'm like, so how did they like figure out the problem? Did enough people like offer themselves whatever? And then there's these two girls who are next to me who are flying together, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the girls got a new seat. And then the other girl goes, my seat says 0 now. And then someone else in the crowd goes, my seat says 0 too. They fucking RNG pulled the seats, and some people get 0. That just means you're kicked off the flight. You're not making it. And they didn't do it with like if people are traveling together. Blah, blah, blah. It was just random rip on the app.
So did the girl go with the
I have no clue how they ended up. I was just like, thank fuck I have a seat. So then I'm lined up and I'm trying to go on. Then there's even more problems because like you said, right? Boarding passes, like physical boarding passes, right? There's people who have their paper boarding pass, right? The guy at the gate says they are not scanning anything but the flight app. If you do not have the airline app with a boarding pass, you will not be scanned. You will not be let on the flight. You need the app, which is crazy because the physical boarding pass, by the way, for this airline costs extra. You have to spend extra money to get a
Wait,
printed out boarding pass. But they say we are only accepting it if you have the app. And then there's other people who have, there's like travel apps, like I usually book my flights on like Expedia, these like travel websites or whatever, right? Because they show like all airlines, blah blah blah. There's people who only have their boarding passes on like travel apps and not the airline. They're not accepting those either. You need the airline's app with a refreshed boarding pass, or you will not be let on the flight. And then some people who even followed those steps aren't making it on and are kicked off because they got seat 0. So I end up scanning on. I'm good to go. I get on the plane. I'm in like the back still, not all the way back, but now I have a middle seat, which I'm like kind of upset about, but it is what it is. So I sit down, all right, and no one else in my row or anything is sat down yet, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I'm like, thank God I'm on the flight. Like all these problems are over. We're good to go. This lady comes and she's holding a sleeping child and she's walking her other child. And she walks up to me and she looks at the seats. I'm in like 28 and I'm in the middle seat. So I'm in B. Okay. It's like A, B, C. So I'm in like 28B, say. Okay. She walks up to me and she says, I have ABC. And I go, what? She goes, I have ABC. And I'm like, no, I'm B. So then I pull up my boarding pass and I have B and I show her my boarding pass and I say, see, I have B. And she goes, okay. I'm like,
Oh.
what? I'm like, what? So then she sits her daughter down next to me and then she sits down in the row across and then she calls over a flight attendant and then she's talking to the flight attendant. And apparently the child who was asleep, so the child got the seat next to me and then she is supposed to be the middle seat in the row across. And then the child who was asleep apparently didn't get a new seat. So she's like
Oh.
confused what's going on. But then the lady is saying like, well, the child you're holding is like small enough to be a lap child, so you shouldn't even need a seat for her. But then she's like, well, I paid for a seat. Like I bought a seat for her. So I'm like, all right, we can probably like get you a refund. And then, yeah, you can just have her on your lap this flight. Like it's fine. And they're talking blah, blah, blah. And then they end up going like to the back of the plane, I guess, to talk more or something. So then they leave and I'm just sat there alone again. And then another
With
family
the
shows up.
child beside you?
No. Like the child gets up too, so no one's next to me anymore.
Oh, okay.
So then, and importantly, I said like, oh, do you want to like switch seats so you can sit next to your kid? And the flight attendant was like, just make sure everyone gets to their assigned seats first, then we can worry about switching anything. So I'm like, okay. So the lady and the flight attendant go to the back of the plane, and then this other family show up, and there's 4 of them in this family. Okay. And so then 3 of them sit down in a row right in front of me, and then as they're sitting down, the mom looks at me and she goes, "Are you alone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she turns to her husband and she's like, "Do you want to ask?" And the husband's like, "Can I sit there and we'll like switch seats just so I can be with my family?" So then I'm like, now the flight attendant isn't here to bail me out. So if I say no, I'm just kind of a dick, right? So then I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, sure, I'll switch with you, right? Mind you, again, I'm in the back of the plane. And then he goes, okay, cool. Your new seat is like 7F. So now I have to be the dickhead going against everyone boarding the plane to get to the front of the plane and sit in my seat. So then
Why did
I'm
he
like,
come all the way? I guess because it's
I
kids.
don't know. The mom could have just come with the kids. I don't even know. So then I'm pushing to the front and I'm like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry. Then I somehow roll bad again on the middle seat up there. So I'm like, shit,
Oh
whatever.
god.
I'm middle seat, like fuck it, whatever. It is what it is. So then I sit down and I'm actually sat next to the lady who was offered the flight from to Puerto Rico. So I feel like I'm sat with one of the like the main characters of the adventure. And she's like, "Oh, you got a new seat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I see you made it too." And we like kind of like share a moment. Where we're like, "Oh, awesome, we made it." And then I don't want to talk to her anymore. I just want to like chill and like be on my flight. And then as people are getting on, she's like, are there even more seats? Like, how are they sitting people on here? And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And I'm just like role playing. It's almost like coworker talk, or like you don't want to talk to someone. I'm just like, yeah, I know. Or like, how are they getting on here? And I'm just repeating what she's saying, just trying to like let it pass. Then everyone finally gets on the plane, and we're good to go. Oh, nope. Somehow they didn't do the paperwork while we were doing that. So then they're like, we just gotta wait and like do the paperwork now. So everyone sat on the plane while they're just doing paperwork. So we're like, cool, awesome.
What?
So our flight's
The
like slightly
fuck
delayed.
is this airline?
Finally, we go, we're good to take off, right? So then the plane it starts, like backing up, whatever, blah blah blah. We're going to take off. We take off, we're all good. And we end up landing. It's fine. I slept for like maybe 30 minutes on the plane because I'm a middle seat and I'm a large man, so it's not flights alone aren't comfortable, let alone being in the middle where like I can't lean against anything. You know what I mean? So there's like there's no like way I'm sleeping as like a 6'5" man sitting in this middle seat.
6'5", all right, dude.
Yeah, so as like a 6'7" man, like sitting in this middle
Okay,
seat, there's no
sure.
way that like my 7-foot self is gonna be able to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I like barely sleep. Sleep like 30 minutes. It's not good. I don't feel rested at all. We land, but the good thing is that I'm now gonna land closer to when Natalie and Karina land. Okay. Um, I
Yay.
land. I open my phone and I'm live texting Natalie and Karina about how their flight is delayed, and they are texting me back, which means I have landed and they haven't taken off yet.
And they were supposed to.
Yeah, they were supposed to land in an hour, and they are like a 3-hour flight away, live texting me. So I'm like, oh fuck, bro. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I get off the plane. I get Burger King. It was like the only thing that was there.
I was gonna say Burger King.
Yeah,
Really?
it wasn't my choice. It'll come up in a sec. I get Burger King. It's literally like the only thing that's there. And then I'm in an area where it's like gates 1 through 15. And then I go up to this lady, and I'm like, "Hey, I don't have gate information on this flight. Do you know where like this flight's gonna get off at?" And she tells me to like give her the information. So I give her the information, and she like she like chuckles and like looks at me with like a smile. I'm like, "Oh," and she goes, "They're getting off at gate 96. It's across the airport." Now, I don't know how big the Boston airport is. I do know how big the airport you flew out was, but this airport, I had to get on a like train, and I had to
Oh.
take a train to another building, then cross that entire ginormous building, and then I was there. And then they were gonna have to take a train to get to me. Massive airport. So then
God damn.
I figure out where they're gonna get out at, and then I sit down, and it says they're gonna land in like 2.5 hours or something. So I'm like, all right. And by the way, pissed off because on my walk there, I find a massive food court that had like a Chick-fil-A, like a sub place. I think there was like a
Oh
Chipotle.
no.
It's like way better food than a Burger King. I'm like, oh. So then I sit there, and the longest 2 hours of my life commence as I fade in and out of consciousness while watching an O.J. Simpson documentary, and I like fall asleep for like 2 seconds and like wake up, and I'm like, oh shit! And every time I wake up and I'm looking like because my head's down, right? So I wake up and I see like feet first, like walking towards me, right, like legs. So then every time I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, they're walking towards me. And then I look up and it's random people. And I look at my phone and it's been 2 minutes and they're nowhere near landing again. And then that like repeats for the entire 2 hours. A kid ends up sitting next to me at one point. And he's eating food and he ends up covering his apparently only sweatshirt in ketchup. And when I mean covering,
Oh.
it looks like he jumped in a tank of ketchup.
Ew.
He is covered in ketchup, and his mom is like, "Did you pack any other sweatshirts?" And he says, "No." And so his only sweatshirt is now coated in
Ew.
ketchup. I don't know how he did it. It's crazy. Um, then eventually, finally, they end up landing. Turns out they vlogged like a little bit more and spoke. We end up doing a short little vlog
Now,
segment, and now we're good to go. And we land.
breaking news though. Can I mention the news?
Sure. I don't know what the news is.
If they left a few hours later,
Oh, true.
if you
If their flight got delayed, yeah, I think a couple hours later.
if you guys have not been on the plane news, because when
And
one plane crashes, everyone covers it.
and if you didn't understand the reference that was made at the start of the episode,
The day that Natalie and Karina flew out was also the day that the plane flipped over at Toronto Pearson Airport
and crashed.
Yeah.
So if they
Yeah.
were a little bit later,
And that
then
canceled all flights
Yeah.
that day.
they would not have been able to fly out, and it would have been just absolutely chalked.
But when I flew home, I texted everyone, I landed the right way up. Yippee!
Yippee.
No $30,000 for me, sad.
$30,000 plus you can sue, so they're getting.
Well,
getting
if they
back. And
don't
everyone
take
survived.
that. Yeah,
no,
one took it.
The 30,000 is no strings attached. I thought.
Oh, I thought you had a...
I read that the 30,000 was no strings attached. You can still sue, which was like
Oh.
which was really big because normally it's like if you take the money, you waive your
That's
rights.
what I thought it was.
No. They just got 30 racks and they can still sue.
Now I was
As
thinking,
far
like,
as I
if
know.
you were with like a family of 4, you have
That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
But that was just our airport story, and you're
Yeah, no,
probably
this has been
like,
an hour.
what happened after the airport? Well, you can find out next week. That's right. We're clickbaiting you.
Yep,
This is-
Mackenzie only wants to talk to me for the allotted time, so the second it hits an hour,
I have to wake
I'm
up
joking,
and
I'm joking.
drive
I'm jo-
tomorrow. I'm
joking, I'm
tired.
joking.
You had to work.
I'm joking.
No, you perfectly ended it now, okay?
Also, you can't defend you when your headphones were broken. Said that we're not friends and hate each other, and this is all for publicity. So,
I said you hate me.
oh yeah, you did say that, and then I said true.
Oh.
Oh.
Well,
Thank
thank you so much for
listening,
listening
though.
to. That reminds me.
We will get into our
we-
adventures. See, we kind of tease the adventures with
The
chicken. We talk about chicken. That's all we talk. You got to find out about chicken in
Yeah.
airports.
And
You'll
like,
find out
we
the
had,
rest next time.
We had like Beepa Doobie. We're gonna be so late on the
there's
Beepa
there's
Doobie.
pop culture drama. Duolingo's back
so-
alive.
I know.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But also, we need to get a jingle. If anyone knows how to make a jingle, let us know.
I've gone on Fiverr multiple times
They're
and like
so
clicked on people, and I
expensive
don't.
and
They're so
bad.
expensive, and like not what we're looking for.
Like, we have the profile photo, not the coloring of it, but just we have.
I might just like DM Phineas, bro. Just like straight up.
Bro, I didn't even mention that I
Yeah, you
saw
should-
him.
You should have asked him while you were there.
I mean, I almost ran into him the day before.
Oh, and we'll
But
get into
we'll
that.
know more of that next
week.
episode. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great day.
Bye bye.